You are sentenced to death penalty, but you can choose how you die. What do you choose? Release me on Moon. Released into the darkness of space in a shuttle headed directly to the Sun. 1000 milligrams of ketamine shot intramuscular 3 minutes before I jump out of a plane. I want to play Russian roulette with other sentenced prisoners. Trebuchet from a high mountain. The Monty Python way, being chased off a cliff by many, many topless women. Use piano wire to hang myself, but glue my hands to my head so when I jump and get decapitated it looks like I pulled my own head off. Thighs, crush my skull with thighs. Give me 4 Xanax and put me out on a snowy mountain, naked. A morphine overdose. Ice guy truck. I would kill myself the day before. Just to piss people off. Petting something I shouldn't. Inert gas asphyxiation. Single combat with the prison warden. What's a NSFW history fact that we don't often hear about? The British Academy of Science redacted massive amounts of the first published observations of penguins by biologists. Penguins are the worst. So much rape. So much necrophilia. The Academy decided the public wouldn't handle it well. In the Ottoman Empire, the Sultan's wife could only eat her cucumbers chopped, so that she doesn't masturbate. Julius Wagner Jauregg won the 1927 Nobel Prize for Medicine, by giving people malaria. The fever from the malaria would go so high that it could kill off an otherwise untreatable syphilis infection. Left untreated syphilis could lead to insanity, so it was pretty bad thing. In comparison, having malaria, which we had treatments for, was a blessing. In July 1184 Henry VI, King of Germany, late Trolley Roman Emperor, held court at a hoftage in the Petersburg citadel in Erfurt. On the morning of July 26, the combined weight of the assembled nobles caused the wooden second-story floor of the Peterskirche to collapse and most of them fell through into the latrina cesspit below the ground floor, where about 60 of them drowned in liquid excrement. There is a man named Eben Byers, who is entombed in Pittsburgh's Allegheny National Cemetery. He was a golf pro and socialite who ended up being the victim of quack medicine. He consumed so much rotty thor, radium dissolved in water, that just prior to his death his jaw literally eroded off of his face. His mausoleum has him in a lead coffin because he's still radioactive. Ammonia-rich fumes from a castle's toilet system were used to delouse clothes inside special closets. William C. Minor, one of the contributing writers of the Oxford English Dictionary, chopped off his penis using the pocket knife he used to cut the bound pages of his old first edition book. After Napoleon's death, it's been alleged, and told to me by a historian at Les Invalides, that his penis was cut off and sold and exhibited through the early 20th century. It was described in 1927 as resembling a piece of leather or a shriveled eel. Rome lost as many soldiers in one battle as the United States lost in the entirety of the Vietnam War. It was the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC against Hannibal. And this was back when the entire world population was tiny compared to what it is now. Rome lost 20% of its adult male population in a single day. Edit. Extra Credits did a great series on the Punic Wars. At the beginning of World War II, in Great Britain, over 750,000 domestic animals were euthanized out of fear that rations would be spread too thin and pet abandonment would lead to masses of strays. The National Air Raid Precautions Animal Committee, NARPAC, sent pamphlets out to homes suggesting that people should send their pets to the countryside or kindly have them destroyed. This later became known as the British Pet Massacre. Romans used to execute criminals in the Colosseum by recreating myths. A woman was raped to death by a specially trained bull, Pasiphae. A man was given wings and thrown across the Colosseum, Icarus. Another was made to play an instrument and then be torn apart by animals, Orpheus, and many, many more. Edit. The main source is Martial, De Spectaculis. I'm uninterested in debating his reliability when he wrote the piece to commemorate specific events that had anywhere between 50-87k eyewitnesses. Writers tend to fail when the entire city calls them out for making stuff up. It used to be thought that blowing smoke up someone's ass was a way to revive them. Some swimming pools actually had a kit, with a bellows-type device, that blow smoke up the ass of a drowning victim. Edited, to clarify tobacco smoke. The CIA gave unsuspecting civilians LSD and then observed their interactions with hookers, paid informants, while under the influence, for experimental purposes. This operation was called Midnight Climax. Edit, for clarity. Added sources for your infotainment. James Joyce had a fart fetish, he often wrote about it in letters to his lover. You had an arse full of farts that night, darling, and I fucked them out of you, big fat fellows, long windy ones, quick little merry cracks and a lot of tiny little naughty farties ending in a long gush from your hole. It is wonderful to fuck a farting woman when every fuck drives one out of her. Didn't the author of Frankenstein lose her virginity on her mother's grave? What's the most moanable name during sex? Bonnie McMurray. I read this as the most moanable meme and I think that would be a very interesting conversation as well. Well, it ain't Fitzgerald. Janine Stifler's mom. Peter. O.P.E. Taha. Ramona. Bartholomew. Sheldon Alaw when Harry met Sally. Walter. Cindy from HR, and yes, you have to say the from HR part every time. Mona. Leroy Jenkins. Doug Dimmadome. Tiami. Jason Derulo. Edit, well damn. The power of Jason Derulo. Thank you all for the upvotes and awards.